Well, we start off with a big Dalek, a huge Dalek episode. You'll see more Daleks you've ever seen before, and you will see more different types of Dalek than you've ever seen before. So it's a real, it's a scary one too. Really sort of focusing on being scary with the Daleks. Yeah, we've got a Western coming up, we can't really hide that, and it looks like a proper Western. We went to the most authentic location we could find, which was obviously in Spain, the American heartland, and it looks absolutely stunning, and it's got everything in it you'd want a Western to have, but Doctor Who style. I think it's just hard for me to judge, because hard for any of us to judge. It's a big. People who've seen the episode have cried. That's generally true, isn't it?
Yep. No, it is. So many people have seen it and all phoned up. The women going, I wept. The men going, I've got the worst case of allergies I've ever had. But I don't think the antihistamines are going to help them. I think it's genuinely moving. It was a huge episode to film, and it was really emotional. It's the most emotional read-through I think I've ever been to.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it was. Everyone was here for the last 5 minutes. Yeah.
You were crying. But it was extraordinary. So Karen had some big speeches, Matt had some big speeches, and it's sort of. They've been on the show for longer than any companions of the modern era, and just as actors, they're really close and they're really great friends, and they just kind of are together, So of course it was, and as characters, I think that you know who the three of them are with the Doctor in the TARDIS, and it's sort of ending that was always going to be a huge rift, really, but an exciting one, because it's a brilliant story, and I think that it makes you realise when you watch that, and actually also the fourth episode that Chris Chibnall's written for us, just quite how much that relationship means, I think, for the show, and you get a real chance to kind of celebrate it and sort of go on some big adventures with them this year. So. Yeah.
It does. I think the tone of the show always radically changes. I think change is what Doctor Who thrives on. It doesn't survive. It doesn't survive change. It actually survives because of change. So one of the things that's very, very different is even in the time that the Ponds have been in it. At the beginning, it's an exciting. They're meeting this exciting new man. By the end, they're his mother and father-in-law. They do
the story of every relationship.
They do sort of treat him like their adopted son. And they do. I mean, he's a big goofball who turns up and saves the universe sometimes. So and they become extremely good at being Doctor Who companions. They're very expert at it. They're like the A-team when they arrive on the planet. They know exactly what to do. We play a lot on that in these new episodes. When you start that story again, you've got somebody who's brand new at it, and it's a fresh take on the Doctor, someone who's still bemused by him, who doesn't know he's got two hearts yet, who doesn't know any of the information, and you meet him again through their eyes. Well, she appears. I mean, I think we did the big River story last year, and now it's quite fun to have her back to being the sort of wife of the Doctor who turns up and causes havoc.
She's so the Queen of Mischief in this episode.
Yeah. So she's just naughty. I mean, she's back to being that, but she also is. Well, I don't know if we're allowed to. I don't know what. Heaven knows. I think it's really, really important that characters keep secrets from their writers, and the Doctor has not given us the information of what happens on those nights. Okay. He's a gentleman. Gentleman never tells.
With a Western coming up, I feel like Doctor Who really allows for different genres, different places, of course, because you can travel anywhere. Do you think you'd ever have a musical episode or an animated episode, or is that taking it a little too far?
Well, I mean, you'd have to have an explanation by someone. Didn't Buffy do a musical episode?
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm not ruling anything out. Just we don't obsessively look for different genres. We just look for what is the coolest thing we can do this week. What is everyone going to get excited about this week?
We are not having a moonshine song episode.
Okay, that's what I was going to say.
I knew it.
That's all. Thank you very much.
Right, where do they come from? Where are these ideas?
I think they come chiefly from having watched Doctor Who. I don't know. Things that scare me. I mean, I don't know. I mean, people always ask that question. It's a reasonable question, but I never had a good answer for it. I sit in a room and think of something that scares me or excites me.
On our script board, we have a code which is ISMH for the scripts that are about to come, and it means in Stephen Moffat's head, because no one knows what is in that.
Are you finished writing the scripts for the season?
Sadly not.
Oh, I saw your tweet that you were huddled up in some room, still
That's
writing.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Virgo.
That's what I've been doing, typing away in a room.
How many
The room changes, the typing doesn't.
how many